everybody, welcome back to Epic Beauty Fail. I'm Jessica. On today's video, we're going to be doing another Foundation Friday. And today, I'm going to be using a powder foundation, and I do plan to use powder foundations for the next couple of weeks. I have 4 of them in total that I'm going to be trying out. Today is the Maybelline New York Super Stay Full Coverage Powder Foundation up to 16-hour wear. So, I have it in the shade 102, which is Fair Porcelain. I'm going to go ahead and open the container here. This is what it looks like. And then it does come with a little like pad on the inside and a mirror. So before I turn on the camera, I did spray my face down with the Pixie Hydrating Milky Mist, which I do typically use in all my foundation reviews. I did not put primer on today. I'm not planning on wearing primer today because I am wearing the powder foundation. I am going to go ahead and put a little bit of concealer, I think just a little bit on my under eyes and a couple of blemishes real quick before we get too far into this. I'm just going to use my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and then we're going to go ahead in with the powder foundation. I never put a lot of concealer on. I'm going to put some on my nose and then just a couple of spots here on my chin that are really red. And I'm going to leave the rest of it as it is and see how this foundation goes. So I'm going to go ahead and blend that in real quick and I'll be right back. Alright, so now it's time for the powder. I'm going to be using my Sigma F82 round kabuki brush for this. And I'm just going to go ahead in and start putting this on my face. Like I said, it does say that it is a 16-hour wear. I'm not going to be wearing it for 16. I'm going to be wearing it for about 8, maybe a little bit longer. Can you see that actually is covering pretty well? I hope that's picking up on camera, but it's actually covering pretty well considering it's a powder. Now I did do powders last year. I did a whole month of powders in 2018, and I think a lot of you guys had said that you use powder foundations more as just a powder to set liquid foundations, or if you're in a hurry and you're just going out to run some errands, never as a full coverage foundation. But I don't often wear on a day-to-day basis like a lot of foundation anyway, so yeah, it's summer. I figured I'd give some powder foundations a try, see how they stand up to the weather. But I will say today I think it's only supposed to be mid-80s, warm, maybe high 80s actually. I think it's supposed to be like 88, 89, even pushing as high as maybe the low 90s. I will say this, if you can see here on my chin, it is a little bit thinner for me, but I am going to be using the rest of my makeup routine as well, so I am going to be putting a little bit of bronzer, blush, highlighter, all that jazz. So I think it'll be fine. Alright, so before I give my initial opinion, I do want to go to the website and read from it, the Maybelline website specifically. I did totally forget to do this already, so I'm going to read it now. The reason why I want to read this before I give you my initial foundation is because I want to make sure what their claims are for this foundation. I did get it all in my hair around my face, so that's fun. Anyway, let's go ahead and read what this says. So, what it is, the Super Stay Full Coverage Powder Foundation Makeup Matte Finish features a high pigment formula that achieves a full coverage finish that lasts all day. Super Stay Full Coverage Powder is the #1 new powder launch of 2019, based on Nielsen data for unit sales of powders launched in food, drug, and major discount retailers in the period from 1/1 through 3/2/19. Benefits. Packed with color-matching pigments, this long-lasting formula delivers our highest foundation coverage ever in a powder. This full coverage powder makeup has a creamy texture that is easily blendable and glides onto the skin for a matte finish. From classic ivory and fair porcelain to golden caramel and java, this high coverage powder foundation is available in an extensive range of complexion matching shades. So, I will say this, it does have a little give us your email thing on it, which I can't get to go away. I'm clicking on the X, but it's not going away. Anyway, it does have, and I'm not sure how well that's going to show up on the screen, it does have some shades, not a ton. I mean, it says that it's like a ton of shades, but it's 10, 12 shades. So Anyway, so it does say that it's full coverage. I will tell you that I don't think it's full coverage. Do I think it went on and blended really well? Yes, I do think it went on and blended really well. But you can still see my freckles. I mean, even up here on my forehead. Let's see if I can put a little bit more up there because I was getting it all in my hair. Maybe I was just not being very good about making sure that I have it. But no, you can definitely still see my freckles. I feel like it did a good job of neutralizing some of the redness on my cheeks. But you can definitely still see my freckles through this. So I would not call this full coverage. Maybe medium? And I know, like I said, a lot of folks use powder foundations as something to set their liquid foundations or cream foundations with. But I continue to be on the lookout for a really, truly powder foundation that I can use. So, all right. Let's see what the time now is. The time is 10:42. I'm going to go ahead and put on the rest of my makeup. We're going to call 10:45 the check-in time. So I'm going to check in at 2:45 and then again at 6:45, somewhere in that range for my full day wear test. As for right now, I'm going to go ahead and put on the rest of my makeup and I will be right back. All right, you guys, just a really simple look today. On my face, I have the MAC X Aaliyah bronzing powder in Baby Girl, which is almost actually too fair for me. It's almost too fair for me, actually. And then I have my Deuce blush. I actually have this shade here. Let's see. It's a magnetic. I'm not sure. It does not have a name on it, but it is this corally shade here on my cheeks as my blush. I only used a really light hand because my foundation is so light. I do have a lot of natural redness coming in. I have this Becca highlighter in, what is this called? It's the Light Chaser highlighter for face and eye, Pearl Flashes Gold. I figured it had a name, but it doesn't. It's Pearl Flashes Gold. So that's the highlighter that I have on today. On my eyes, I have my Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion, my Urban Decay Naked Ultimate Basics. I literally have Blow all over the lid, Faith, there goes the brush, Faith in the crease, and then Magnet all over the lid as well. And I have nothing on my under eyes or inner corners or anything like that. It's just a matte look, very, very simple, couple of shades, nothing too exciting. I have my Doll 10 Legalized mascara on, and then I have this Revlon lipstick. I'm trying to see if it has a shade on it. Okay, it's the shade 700 HD Sand. It is, what's the name of this lipstick? Ultra HD Gel Lip Color in HD Sand 700. So that's what's on my lips right now. It's like the perfect nude shade for me, for my skin tone. Oh, and in my brows, I have the Maybelline Brow Precise Micro Brow Pencil in, I think this is in brown. Does not have the shade on it, but it is brown. It's a little bit darker than I prefer to have my brows, but it's okay. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about the foundation. I'm going to zoom you in. Oh, and I sprayed my face down with my MAC Fix Plus before I put like my eye makeup on. I just did the face makeup and sprayed my face down. I'm going to zoom you in and we can talk about this foundation. All right, so it's definitely a very light coverage. I can still see all of my freckles along my chin. I'm not sure how well the camera's picking it up, but I will try to show you guys at lunchtime or midday, not lunchtime. 2:45 is after lunch for me, at least for today. And yeah, I can still see freckles along my hairline. I can still see freckles along my chin. Some of that may be that I was out in the sun yesterday and my freckles might have come in a little bit more than they normally are, but still, nonetheless, it claims to be high coverage. And I can see my freckles. So there's that. Overall though, I think it's looking pretty good. I'm trying to see, it's not like super deep in any of my pores. I don't feel like it's accentuating the line on my forehead. So overall, I am liking the way it's looking. I don't mind my freckles. I know I've touched on it a couple of times. And the only reason why I'm touching on it is because it does claim to be a full coverage powder foundation. And, you know, I would view full coverage as something that's completely covering my freckles. And this is not. So it's okay. I don't mind my freckles. I've lived with them for 40 years. I know that they're there. You know, everyone in my life that knows me knows that they're there. And it's okay. That doesn't bother me. So, Yeah, overall, I think it looks pretty good as long as you're looking for just a very, light coverage. Probably not like, non-existent. It's definitely covering up some of my imperfections. It definitely covered up some of the redness on my cheeks, and balanced out my skin tone. So, yeah, it's not bad. It's, like I said, it's a powder foundation. So you have to go into it knowing that there's going to be a certain level of coverage that you're dealing with. So, all right. I forgot to tell you the time. It is 11:06. So we're going to stick with 11 o'clock as the check-in time. I actually finished my face makeup, sprayed it all down at 10:50, but just for simple... No, we said 10:45, didn't we? Yeah, 10:45. We're going to check in at 10:45 as the check-in time. And we're going to check in at 2:45 and then again at 6:45. Yes, because I sprayed my face down with my MAC Fix Plus at like 10:50. It might have been a minute or two earlier. So we're going to go at 10:45. Anyway... I'm going to go about my day. I'm about to head out to see family, and I will see you guys at 2:45. Bye. All right, you guys, it is midday. It is, can you see that? 2:45. So it's midday. I'm going to step in the sun here, and then I'm going to step back in the shade to show you what my skin looks like with this foundation on. It is quite sunny today. It's actually ended up being about 91 right now, mid-afternoon. So let's go ahead and look at the foundation, shall we? My natural oils are starting to come in. I was wearing sunglasses, so you can see with my natural oils the sunglasses marks on my nose right in there. Definitely kind of wiped away with my sunglasses, but okay, that's, fine. What seems sort of odd to me is my chin. Can you guys see, like, right in here, it's like cracking apart? Like, I have a fuzzy on my chin too, but like right in here it's kind of cracking a little bit. I find that odd. I don't normally have that with like a powder foundation, at least not that I remember, but maybe I'm just forgetting because it's been a while since I've had a powder foundation on. So, all right. So my assessment midway through the day is got a little bit of mascara there, but other than this portion of my chin right here, a little bit on this side, but mostly on this side, it's wiped off where my sunglasses were, but you can't really blame the foundation for that. And of course, because it's in a small compact, I could easily touch that up if I chose to. I'm not going to today, but I could easily touch that up. But 4 hours in, I think it's looking really, really good. I actually looked in the mirror. I was at my mother-in-law's house for a little bit this afternoon, and I looked in the mirror in the restroom, and when I first looked in the mirror, I was like, oh, that actually looks pretty good. So it just like sort of balances out my face, makes it look nice and even, and other than those couple, like that spot here on my chin is a little bit annoying, and just around my nose, which I could touch up pretty easily, is a little bit annoying. But other than that, I think 4 hours in, it's looking really good. I think it's looking really good. So there we are, halfway through the day. I will see you guys again in about 4 more hours. All right, everybody, I am back. The time is almost exactly on time. It is exactly. The minute switched over. It is 6:45. When I looked at my phone, it was 6:44. So exactly 8 hours. And let's talk about the foundation. So you can see on my nose, I'm sure the camera's picking it up, that it is totally wore off where my sunglasses were, and even like down in here where it like touched my face, it's worn off. But other than that, I feel like I look very, very dewy in this. My nose is very shiny. And I know there's a lot of lighting in here, but still, it's very, very shiny. Now this does not, does it claim to be matte? With long-lasting matte finish. Well, not quite. I've only had this on 8 hours. It claims 16 hours. It claims matte finish. I am definitely not matte at this point. I am very shiny in my cheeks, on my nose, in my forehead, on my forehead, and on my chin. I am very, very shiny all throughout my T-zone. It was 91 degrees today. I think it even got as high as like 92 or 93, but I was not outside for a good chunk of that, so I'm not sure that that really has anything to play into it, but yeah. Other than the shininess though, I think it looks pretty good. I think it actually looks really pretty good on my skin. I don't feel like it's sitting in any of my, you know, imperfections on my face at all. I think it actually is looking fairly good. It does feel sort of sticky here along my chin where I know I've got some oils coming out. Yeah, overall, I think this looks fine. I think I'm going to actually try to add some more to see how it looks with adding an additional foundation. Now I will say that it might be best if I would use the little sponge that's in here, but I'm going to use the same brush that I used to apply it earlier. I'm just going to try to put it in some places. I'm very worried about putting it on my nose, to be honest with you, because I've done that before and it has like smeared, rather than, not with this foundation, but with other powder foundations, where it's kind of smeared rather than filled back in. But let's see how it goes. Yeah, it's kind of getting smeary on my nose. Not sure that the camera is picking that up very much, but in here on my nose, I probably would have done better to actually wipe it off and start fresh. In fact, I think I might do that. I might just take like a tissue here. Yeah, because all those oils are still underneath the foundation. So I think what I'm going to do is just wipe that off and start with a fresh layer of foundation. Now I did have concealer on my nose earlier, but this is fine. Yeah, I don't think that looks bad. It probably would look even better if I was not using a brush, if I was using the little sponge that came with it. So I am about to film another video, so I wanted to refresh this anyway. Yeah. So now I feel like I do need to put a little bit more bronzer on, because this foundation is probably a little bit fair for me. Not terribly, but just a little bit. It would probably be fine in the winter, but since it's summer and I do have a little bit of shade to my skin right now, not a ton, but a little bit, yeah, I probably do need to darken it up just a little bit. I will do that after I turn the camera off. But overall, do I think this was nice? I think it was okay. I don't think it was fantastic. I don't think it was the most coverage that I've ever had, you know, in a foundation. Absolutely not. For a powder foundation, do I think it was okay? Yeah, I think it was fine. One of the nice things about this is that you can easily touch it up. You know, you can take this with you, throw it in your purse. It's fairly sturdy. I really do have to make sure that I try to open it. And then with the little sponge in there, it just is, you know, easy to reapply. So that is my review of the Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage Powder Foundation. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up down below. If you haven't already, please hit that red subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the little bell to notify you when I upload new videos. And if you have any comments, leave those in the comment section down below as well. I love to hear from you. Have you ever tried the Maybelline New York Superstay Full Coverage 16-hour powder foundation? And if so, what are your thoughts on it? If not, what do you guys think I should be trying in the near future? I've looked at the Laura Mercier powder foundation that came out. I have not picked that up yet. It's not one of the 4 that I'm going to be doing a review on. I am curious about it. I actually haven't watched any videos reviewing it yet. So let me know if you guys would like to see that. It wouldn't happen probably until September at the earliest. If you're interested, let me know that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next Epic Beauty Fail. Bye!